Okay, guys, I got to get started. There are two in this class, and neither one of you are here right now. But I really have to get it started on time. And you may pop in. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go back to Foggy Mountain Breakdown, which is the last one of the last class. And I just want to go through that just so you have some more practice on that one. All right, so if you pop in, then I'll stop. If not, then a few minutes into this, I'm going to shut off the access to the class so I don't have to start all the way back to the beginning. And then I'll just run through what we need to do tonight. Okay? And, you know, with two of us in here anyway, well, three of us together, you know, probably an hour would be too much time for us, and I don't like saying, okay, you got 10 minutes left, what do you want to talk about? So when we're done, we're done. But I'm going to go ahead and run this Froggy Had a Breakdown. All right, I'm going to just play it kind of slow at first. Somewhere in here. There's Dan. Hey Dan, you with us?
Hey Steve, how you doing?
Good, good. Hey, I've already started the recording, so
Okay.
what I want to do here is we're waiting on one more.
Okay.
What I want to do here is, well, actually, we're not waiting because I'm plowing ahead, but
Okay.
I want to go through Froggy Had a Breakdown,
Okay.
which was the last one of our last class. So, and then being if it's just going to be you and I tonight, then I can open up your mic and we can see if there's any problems and stuff. It's a lot easier. So
Okay.
here we go. Let me mute you out first, and we can play through it. Are you doing okay with it?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, I just muted you out. Let's go through kind of slow. Somewhere in here. Okay. And things that I do want to stress at this point, which I haven't really done in the last couple, is when you do your strum, remember we like that Norman Blake phrase of making your right hand look like it's shaking off water, giving you a nice snappy strum instead of a strum that just goes through the strings. Let's see here. I'm going to keep my phone handy in case I get a text that someone's on their way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice whip in the strum. Hold it here a second. Let's just find out. I'm going to open your mic real quick. Is that speed okay, or is it too slow, or can you go faster?
Oh, that's good. I have not played this in a minute, so it's not bad. So I'm catching up with it, but it's good.
Okay, so we're good with. I'll just keep running that speed. Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay. All right, because I want to switch to. We'll keep using the first ending, right? And that sends us back to the top each time. And I want to switch to the lead at some point. 1, 2, ready, go. First ending, back to the top. back to the top one more time. A little faster. Last time. Hang in there. Hold it here. Okay, let me open up your mics, gang. So Eileen, I'm not used to seeing you as a WJ. Dan, yeah, Dan, this is Eileen is the WJ here.
Hi, Elaine.
I think she's muted out on her side.
Okay.
Maybe doesn't have a mic. Did you get through that with me there, Dan?
Yes. Yep. That was good speed for me. Yep.
Okay, good, good. Now and you're still muted out, Eileen, and you know the you know it good.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Just kind of keeping that in mind, you know. You know, I remember I had this. I used to send out. I may have mentioned it to the group at some point. I used to because I mentioned it last week or 2 weeks ago when about I used to send out a newsletter that actually went in the mail, and we would send out like 14,000 4-page newsletters every quarter. So that it just got when email took over. Then I didn't do that anymore. And anyway, in it I always had some kind of tablature of some sort, and there was a guy that from Boston that called me up and said, I got your newsletter. I learned that song. What level was that song written for? And I said, maybe intermediate level. And he said, oh, good, then I'm an intermediate player. I said, well, I don't know that yet. How fast are you getting through that? Oh, I can do it in about 2 minutes. And I said, well, you know, that's a 30-second song. And he goes, oh, reality check. And, you know, so that's the thing. That I don't want you to get used to just playing it at that speed that we did it. Eileen, are you with us?
I am.
There she is. Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like you're in an echo chamber.
Well, I'm in the living room. There's a high ceiling here, I guess.
Oh, I can just about picture it. And there's a big white fan at the peak, isn't there?
No, there's really nothing up there.
Oh, really?
I think I see a water leak. We're underwater here.
Oh, wow. You're in
I don't like that.
where are you at?
Columbus, Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah. Yeah, we're underwater here too. Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed a new leak yesterday. Yeah. How long has that been there? Well, anyway, yeah, we were hitting this Foggy Mountain Breakdown, obviously, and you know, some of the things I want you guys to think about on this. If you ever played like the really good runs in this are the ones that are taking you G to E minor back to G. Take just walking down that open string and coming back. If you look at the second line, second measure, those last two notes of that measure, the open and the two. That's how you get into G. But that's how you get into anything actually at the third fret. And that also then implies that it would work for C. Because it's at the third fret. That's your root at the third fret. So it's that open two that gets you in there. But I've got a couple different ways. I'm looking for another one. Because you can go there it is at the first ending. Open the open 1-2. If you have 3 beats going into it, and that's all the stuff you have to. You're not just learning Foggy Mountain Breakdown, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. There's a lot of stuff in this that you could take out. So what I was going to ask before is if you ever did a song like Country Roads, it's 2 measures of G, 2 measures of E minor. So there's your walk down to E minor, then it's going to D. And you could, after the C going back to G, you can use. See what I mean? It's just that every song you do, you have to look for songs that have G and E minor in them now. Whatever we did before this, and I can go back and look, but I'll look. Way Downtown. Anything that you have that's C, F, and G, that had a ton of stuff. Wayfaring Stranger had a ton of stuff in it. So really look for things that you can apply those to, because that's how you get the most out of what we're doing. I did. You guys might have been in one of the classes where I mentioned that we're not learning Foggy Mountain Breakdown. We're learning the techniques that are within, and that's just our vehicle. So look for songs that go G, have a lot of G and E minor, if you guys would. And where's the Eileen? Where's the WJ come from?
That's my husband's name, and I'm not sure how. I was having trouble getting in tonight, and I had to go try to load the go to training again.
Yeah.
And I guess it popped up that way. I don't know.
Yeah, it registered that way, because this would be the name that you had to. Maybe you used his credit card, and you thought it made a difference there.
No, not today. I didn't. I don't know what happened.
Huh?
I really don't. It's strange.
That is odd. Yeah. Well, okay. Let me mute you guys out. We'll go on to where we are now. As I mentioned on the intro, for the minute that no one was with me here, I thought I was going to be all alone tonight. If that ever is the case, what I do is I start the video on time, and at about 10 minutes in, I cut it off to the internet, because I don't want to backtrack all the way back to what I started. But I kind of run it like I've been doing a DVD, and that way, we get everything done that we need to. We just don't have the interaction. What I mentioned in that is that being new into this class course, we have Old Home Place to go through, and we may talk about some other things, particularly if you've got ideas of what you want to talk about, but it's not going to take an hour for two of us, for three of us to get through this stuff. So let me go ahead and run through Old Home Place first. Now, I know Eileen would know B7. Do you have, throw a hand up, Dan, if you do a B7 already? Okay, so you won't have any trouble there. And again, what we have here is a lot of two beat bass walks. And I think what's important to look at is because you want to be able to take this stuff and move it and migrate it to other songs, is to look at really what our pattern is. It's typically, and I'm looking through this and I see it all over the place because I know what I'm looking for. The third and fourth beat of each measure are the bass walks that you need to get used to and memorize, that take you into whatever chord is there. Okay, so like look at the first measure. It's a boom chuck first, and then you have these two bass notes that bring you into the root or the first bass note you want to hit for the next chord. So there's a boom chuck, and then it's walk walk. It's not don't look at it as going walk, the first measure, walk, strum, walk, walk. It's just boom chuck or whatever chord you're on, and then these two notes that are specific to the next chord that's coming in. So anytime from any chord you go into B7, whatever chord you're on, say it was C, you could hit a boom chuck and then these two bass notes to bring you into B7 or B minor or B major, which no one likes to play. That's why we use B7. So if I'm on G, it sounds like this. But it's just walking me into B. It's walking me into the B note. So if I'm on C, I can do the same thing. I'm just going to hit the bass strum of whatever chord I'm on, A, and then the two bass notes that will lead me into B. I was going to say that's probably not a standard thing, but I guess it could be. That would be, I can hear it going to an E chord next. And I guess you know, when my eyes drift off like that, I'm trying to find the reason. Why is that? And it's going to E next because that is a chord progression. If you're in the key of E, you would use E, A, and B7. So if I was on the 4 chord, A, into the 5 chord, down to E, that would be a normal progression. So find stuff in the key of E, and then you'll see that progression come up. You'll find use to get used to the B7 anyway. So the point is, here we go on the second measure. It's just a bass and a strum of whatever chord I'm on, and then walk, walk. The open 2 leads me to the 3 of the C chord. Okay, then it's just a bass strum of the C chord, but now my walk to G. Okay, and then we have, let's take a look at this. Then we have basically the same bass walk that I pointed out in Foggy Mountain Breakdown. The open 1, 2, it's the same. We're hitting a G note first because we walked into G, and then we're walking back into G. This takes us back into G. Now, and throw a hand up if I'm confusing you. Now, I'm going to stay on this 4th measure. I could have just the same, and I'm going to look around first, see if I find one. I could have just the same put on the 4th measure, 1st line, the 3, the G note, right? Because that's where we were walking to. And then a strum. And then the 1, 2. I could have done that. I could have made it like some of the other ones with an open 2 into the 3. Because that was in Foggy Mountain Breakdown. But now it's a 1, 2. So, you know, I guess really, I don't want to beat this a bunch of times. Oh, I just found another one. Take a look at the 3rd line, 3rd measure. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. When you got the 3 and then a strum and then the 1, 2. Okay, so there it is. That measure could go up at the 1st line, 4th measure, just the same. All it is filling out G. All right, so kind of, those are things that you have to search for and think of the why. What's actually happening here? And in almost every measure, there's a bass and a strum of the chord we're on, and then 2 single bass notes. And those 2 single bass notes are your key to sliding into, I don't mean by sliding, but to get right into your whatever chord is written next. And you ought to go ahead and pull these measures out of here and put them in the other stuff that we've done, some of the easier things. Take a look at the 3rd line, 2nd measure. It's the same as the 1st line, 3rd measure because it's a C going to G. So take that measure and look at other songs you've got that have a C right before G and use that bass walk and get used to it. Because that's all we're going to do is there'll be variation on these as there are right now. There are variations on them, but pretty much that's what we're looking at doing, is trying to drive all these bass walks home, lock them in your head. Okay, let me run through this because there are a couple other things that we'll have to look for. 2nd line, 3rd measure is something that we call a push. Okay, that's and I'll play the 2 measures, the 3rd and 4th measure of the 2nd line. Again. Now, normally, at a lower level, that would have been written as again. Right? Just the 4 quarter notes, boom chuck, and then 4 quarter note bass walk. But what's happened here is it's boom, chuck, boom, a short chuck, right? It's 2/8 notes now, and we're going to slide into the 5, which is the same as the 4th string open. Okay, it's the same as the 4th string open, but you're going to hit the 4th string open. You're sliding into the 4th string open note, which is a D. And you can see there's two, if you look at the notes, it's 2 Ds right there above it, right? Above the tab. You're going to slide into it half a beat early, which is called a push. We're pushing that. It's not. You would think it'd be a pull, but it's really a push. So it sounds like this. On the and of 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you're going to hit that 4, slide it into the 1 beat of the next measure. Don't hit the 5. You're just going to slide into it, and then you come up on the 4th string open. 2 ups, up, up, down, down, and that you'll want to practice over and over again. Okay, now that's on a D chord. Could be a D7, just the same, because we're going to G. D7 leads us into G. That's what you'll find on the second page, measure 18 and measure 24. Right, D7's into that push, and then there's also a G push somewhere, and that's on the first page, 3rd line, last measure. Instead of 4 quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're pushing to get to that second note. So now we're taking the quarter note, which is the 2, on the 5th string, and we're going to pull it closer to the 3 that's before it. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3, and then we're holding it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and you can hear it's got this advance in time. Here we do it again. 1 and 2 and 3. So you're gonna hit it down, up, hold it for a beat, and then the 3 and then the 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now you also notice that I'm going to hold the note ringing so it's sustained, and I'm going to fake the downswing in my practice, because it's really going to go like this. You don't have to really fake a downswing. It goes so fast at that point that the timing should work out okay. As long as you go down, up, down, 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 up, fake the swing, down, down, then you'll get used to that time gap in there. And that's typically used at the end of a piece. Okay, so let me run the whole thing through, and then we'll see if you got any questions. make note of this. I don't know what that is. First, I'm going to make a note because I have something I'm going to have you guys do next week. So I can't say it out loud. Let me just make a few notes here. And this will give me an idea of enough. Okay. I'm going to have you do something that I've never had any of the other classes do. So we'll see how that goes. That's right. Oh, the tension is building, Dan. Well, and I want you to get this down. I mean, that's the thing, is that we have time here that I could keep adding things into it, but I don't want to, because a lot of people don't get this fast enough in the first week before I start adding in. Well, I've never added this stuff in, but before starting adding things in. Now, one thing I did want to mention is that I believe that all the D chords, the five, they're all five chords, right? They're either D or D7, and you can play either one. I just wanted to kind of put that out there, because I may slip on where it's written as a D, second line, third measure, and hold a D7. It really does not matter. The D7 I think is more proper, and so I don't really know why I made them Ds. Don't know. Really don't know. So it does, but it doesn't really matter. So if you want to do D7s at the second line, third measure, that's fine. If you want to make a D measure 18, 19, if you want to turn that into a D, it doesn't matter. D7 is really more proper to go into the G, but now let me go ahead and just play the lead to this. And also, Eileen, I was thinking, if you want to go ahead, depending on what name you want to appear on this, if you want to go ahead and register for the class again, but don't do the pay thing, and then just stop after you filled in the blanks, and then you're supposed to click go to PayPal or something. You can just go ahead and click that and then just get out of it, and then I'll get notice that you've done that. I'll cancel the WJ and click the other as paid. If you want to do it, it doesn't matter. But Dan may want to holler at you and say, WJ, I forgot your name. Okay, let me play the melody to this. So you have something to play along with. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the other thing I was thinking is I also want to run it a little faster, where you're just going to go through the chord changes. in order to get a song smooth, particularly one that you're unfamiliar with, is you just run through the changes, meaning that you're fine with your boom chicks, but let's take all the bass walks out and get your fingers used to switching chords that fast. Again, in measure 7 and 8, I can use a D or a D7 or a D for the first one and a D7 for the second one. Okay, so let me go ahead and play through the lead. I mean the chords at that speed, because there's not going to be anything else that we're going to do today, so we may as well just do that, and after this we'll just call it a night. So let me find a speed that is challenging, and I want to go through the chords, 2 first parts, 1 second part. You practice along with that. Then I'm going to go straight into the melody, 2 first parts, 1 second part. Wish me luck. I hope I don't make a mistake. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop here for a second. Throw a hand up if you could already keep up with that speed. Okay, so let me bring it up just a little bit. When there's only 2 and I get a response that follows with, okay, let me speed it up a little bit, you kind of get an idea that who came in and who did not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's just go right there. Go straight into the lead. That's all she wrote. Okay, so really go ahead and play along with that first. Then use that as your second version. I had lunch with a fellow bandmate of mine today. We were in a band 25 years ago. About 5 years ago, we had it was called Strange Company, because the lead singer was Nancy Brennan Strange. That was her name. And anyway, we had a 20-year reunion concert that sold out at a theater here in town. And it was a swing band. And, it's funny that after, we played together about 10 years. So when we did this, we kind of went through the intros, and we call them the beginning and the end of the songs. We didn't do anything with the middle. So it's the intros and the outros. and then we played the concert. And it's amazing that things come back that quickly, but it's when you burn them into your memory, like we need to do to learn these songs. That's what happens. So anyway, the guy I was having lunch with today, he said, "How do you work on your speed?" And it was kind of surprising that he would ask me that. He's a fast player. He's not a super fast player, but he's a fast player. And the way you work on it is exactly what we did right there. You lay down some rhythm that is outside of your comfort zone just by a little bit. And you run through the song about 5 times. So in this case, if you guys were going to do this, you would lay down the rhythm like I just did. Just a hair above your comfort zone, so you're not pushing your easy button. Play the rhythm, and just in this case, if you, we're talking about doing it, play the rhythm on, record it like 5 times through. So just do a first part and a second part, and that's it. Not 2 first parts and a second. Okay, just 1 and 1. Do it again, 1 and 1. Don't stop. Just go right back to the beginning, 5 times through. You'll and really do this. You'll be able to remember that you're on your 4th or 4th time through. If you're going to try to record it 10 times, which is what I used to try to do, I couldn't remember if I was on 8 or 9, and then I realized it really doesn't matter. I need to do my repetitions. Okay? Do it just a hair faster than you can do, and then put your bass walks in there along with that rhythm. And that way you'll keep track of where you are. Then, and this is what I told the guy, then record your rhythm 15% faster. So if you're at 140 beats a minute, multiply that times 1.15, and that's going to give you the number that you need to set your metronome at. That's 15% faster. Okay, 1.15 will get you that number plus 15%. Okay, and then record it 5 times, just the rhythm, because you should be able to do that, just the rhythm, and then play your bass. Then play that stuff along with it. Okay, because that's about the speed you'll need to do it, or faster, at a full speed bluegrass band. Now, if you're going down to the VFW club and jamming down there with the veterans, well, it's been 10 long years. See, that'll be right there. So you won't have to go as fast. But if you're going to go, elsewhere, say you're at a bluegrass festival, they'll probably be going faster. Okay. Any questions on anything? Anything you see there? Well, I tell you, folks, this is going to be a good 6 weeks. This will be great for us because we can relax a little bit and take some time and go through things, and we can do some things that I hadn't done because I know both of you. So anyway, if you haven't, like always, if any questions come up, just send me a note. I've already got homework set for you for next week. Okay, we'll go ahead and hold it there. If there's nothing else, any questions, comments, answers, statements, snide remarks, or opposing views? Okay. I'll go ahead and click out. Thanks, guys. You guys go ahead and take this early time now and get some practice in there. Great. Thanks. You guys have a great week. Some of you I'll see through the week as well. Take care.